What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Down Dog Athletics Podcast, a competitor's guide to mental health and mastery. My name is Paul Klingen, and I am your host. Down Dog Athletics, and really my mission is to help bridge the gap between things like yoga and sports. So, making yoga, meditation, mental health, things that are a little bit more accessible for men, athletes, and really just anyone who is competitive. This episode is brought to you by Live Better Retreats. I wouldn't support this if I didn't believe in it. I went on the retreat last November to El Salvador, and I literally had the best week ever. The retreat's ran by Jason Lobig and Brett Gornick, who I actually had a chance to be on my podcast in episode 3. Give it a listen if you want to get to know these guys. They're amazing trainers, yoga instructors, and inspiring entrepreneurs. But I like to just share what a typical day is like. We essentially woke up, did yoga overlooking the ocean. Then we surfed at one of the best surf spots in the world. The resort leads out to this huge bay with waves all the way from, beginner waves all the way out for advanced surfers. Then you roll back up to the resort, have brunch. Middle of the day, you just lay in a hammock, read The Alchemist, which for me is a top 3 book of all time. In the afternoon, you go and do different workshops designed to enhance different areas of your life. Then you surf or chill by the pool. Again, not too bad. You wrap it up with amazing dinners, connecting with people from all over the country. I talk to this group daily, and we're going to be friends for life. It's one of the few vacations I've gone on where I came home rested physically, mentally, and spiritually, ready to take on Monday. If you want to learn more, visit livebetterco.org, and in your application, just mention Down Dog Athletics, and you'll receive $200 off if you decide to have the best week ever. And today, I want to kind of go on, not like a rant, but talk through a concept that was first introduced to me at the college level by one of the coaches at Washington State. And as a young 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid, obviously, I didn't understand what this meant. And it's one of those situations where, you understand when you get older, you understand when you get wiser. And anyone who's ever been on a sports team and had a coach say something, you kind of just roll your eyes and you know what they're saying, but at the same time, you don't want to buy into it because it kind of shatters your identity or your concept that you know everything or that you don't need advice or help. But the thing that he said, which when looking back is kind of a little bit of extreme, and I'll explain why, but he says, everything that happens to you is your fault. Everything that happens to you in your baseball career, in school, really in life, is your fault, is a result of things that you have done, actions that you have taken, or maybe not taken. And again, at first I was like, this guy's a little bit crazy. Like, not everything that happens to me is my fault. And this is especially true in the lens of any athlete who's ever felt like they're not getting enough playing time and it's the coach's fault. Or maybe, they had just a stroke of bad luck and that's the reason why they aren't playing or that's why they aren't performing as well. And I definitely had that mindset. I was a role player. I was a catcher, really good defensively. I'll admit, not a great hitter. A big part of it was that I just wasn't willing to work. I thought that, and this is something that, again, I mentioned in other podcasts where I grew up always being so talented that I didn't really need to put in the extra effort until I got to college. And even in my senior year in high school, I started to see it, but didn't want to admit it. Get to college, and then it's like, wow, everyone's more talented. Everyone works harder than me. But a part in my head, I was like, the reason why I'm not playing, man, it's because the coach has a bad philosophy or the coach is wrong or the coach is this. And that's where if I would have just taken this advice of everything that happens to you is your fault, what he's really trying to say and what I learned a couple years ago was that you have to take ownership of everything in your life. Yes, there are times in your life where things are out of your control. A lightning bolt buzzes you right in the brain or strikes your tree or a tree falls on your house or a loved one suddenly and tragically passes. Those are not things that are your fault. However, how you respond to them is 100% your fault. And where you go from there, that's what you have to take ownership of. And going back to wherever you're at, thinking this in the lens of sports or performance or even just personal trainer, looking at people and the physique that they have or the health that they have, everything that has happened to them, the situation that they are in, is a result of the choices they have made and how they have responded to things that have happened to them outside of their control. from a training perspective, the two pillars are going to be what you put in your body as fuel and going and actually working out. There is no one that is force feeding you Cheetos. No one is jamming them down your throat with a toilet plunger, just being like, eat the Cheetos. And at the same time, LeBron James isn't guarding your door, boxing you out of the elevator, being like, nah, bro, you are not getting to the gym. Those are choices that you are making. And maybe there's situations that are causing you to stress eat. And maybe there are situations that are making it really difficult to go to the gym. Well, then it is your fault and your responsibility to manage your stress or to plan your day better so that you can get where you want to get and look in the mirror and say, yeah, this badass just got in the best shape of their life because this badass made the choices to take ownership over their circumstances. So I remember feeling when I thought, wow, everything is my fault. It all falls on me. I'm the one to blame. All the bad things in my life are a result of me. Initially, yeah, you're going to feel really bad. But then when you think about it a little bit deeper and you realize, wow, I am the CEO. I am the owner. I am the one in charge with the keys to my own car. I get to decide where that car goes. And what really starts to give you power is when you take away the power from other people and you take away other people's responsibility for where you're at, then you're able to go and make changes from that. If someone is in control of your life and in control of your destiny, then you don't really have control to make a change for the better. But as soon as you say, all right, I'm 20 pounds overweight, it's my fault. Girlfriend just dumped me because I was a shitbag, it's my fault. If everything is your fault, then great. Now you have the opportunity to go and make changes so that when things are great, you know what's also fantastic about this is when it's your fault, that means that you did it. You go and outsell everyone on your team. It's your fault. It's not your manager's fault. It's your fault. Just as if you have a bad quarter, it's your fault. Could have made more calls. Could have studied more. Could have, there's so many other things that you could have done. But then when you are successful, it's your fault. Because on one side of the coin, you're saying, oh, I can't lose weight because it's my genetics. But then you go and lose that weight and hell yeah, it's your fault. You did that rather than give that control to someone else, to some other situation that if you're playing that victim, again, you don't have any control over that. So taking ownership, that's the first part. Now, look at things that are not in your control. Literally, I just got off the phone with a friend. He was flying from Germany back to the U.S., and their plane got delayed. They had to spend the night in Munich. People lost their minds. People lose their minds all the time over stuff that's not in their control. But what can you control? How you respond to that situation. My buddy was like, sick, I'm going out in Munich, going to be a big party tonight. Well, otherwise other people are crying, losing their shit. And you have that power. It's your fault how you respond, what emotions you react and respond with to whatever situation is happening to you. Yes, you cannot control some things, but you can control how you react to them. And like I said in the beginning, where you are right now is a reflection of the decisions that you've made and how you've responded to the experiences and the things that have happened to you. I know I said it wasn't going to be a rant, turned into a little bit of a rant, but hopefully gave you some more awareness, gave you some things to think about. And really, it's like, how can you look and reflect on where are areas in your life where you have given people the keys, and where can you say, yo, those are my keys. I'm driving this car. Get in the back seat.